Hi everyone, welcome to Film Files. Today I wanted to talk about The Seed of the Sacred Fig. I was looking forward to watching this movie for two reasons. One, it did really well in the film festival circuit. It won the special grand jury prize at Cannes. It played at Berlinale, it played at a variety of film festivals, and it's been gaining a lot of buzz. And two, my favorite film is Iranian. So I usually have higher expectations for very well-reviewed Iranian films than I would with films from other countries. So I was pretty excited going into this one. I feel like this movie, it's more than just a movie. So it's hard to talk about it from the perspective of traditional narrative film, which is kind of what this is, because it's not an experimental film, it is a story. But I think that this film is very important because it highlights the 2022-2023 protests that happened in Iran and the general feeling and mood of the public while that was happening. So it uses a lot of footage of the actual protests that happened at that time and also the government crackdown on the protests that happened at that time. So it is social commentary on that situation. So because of that, I feel like the first 30 to 40 minutes was just setting up the mood of the nation, and that was the world in which this film was set. And I think they did a really good job with the world building because, you know, this situation is already high stakes, it's politically charged, and it affects every single citizen of Iran. And you get a really good sense of that. And about 40 minutes into the film is when the actual narrative kicks in, the narrative of the film. And once the story starts, I feel like the film was a little bit of a letdown. I wanted to highlight the importance of this film and the courage it takes to make this film. And these are some points that I really wanted to highlight before I started to talk about the story, for the simple reason that the director, Mohammad Rasoulof, was sentenced to 8 years in prison for propaganda against the government. So I think that speaks for itself as to what this movie is. And it would be unfair for me to talk about it like talking about any other film. So now that I've said all of that, I will get into the story. The story centers around a family in which the father character loses his gun. And because of the paranoia that is happening in the country at the time, and he's being fed all this information from his co-workers, and he has disagreements within his own family members, and that causes him to have paranoia against his own family as well. And this manifests in multiple different ways, and that's what the story is about. It carries through for about 30 minutes, being a very interesting and engaging storyline. But after that, the escalations didn't really work, and the characters do a variety of actions that are not completely in line with what they would do as characters, and this really threw me off. And especially the last hour of the film, I felt like it really lost its plot. It meanders, and the ending is a Hollywood studio movie style climax sequence, which completely felt out of character for this film. And that's a reason that I didn't enjoy this film to the extent that I should have. But that's against the caveat that the film is very important and it does address a variety of important issues in Iran. So the narrative was almost playing second fiddle to everything else that happens in the film. The director did an amazing job capturing the mood and the tension and the paranoia and the various viewpoints that is happening within the public. And the director didn't do that good a job with the actual storytelling that happens in the film. So in many ways, I felt like it was two different films trying to mesh into one film, and it didn't work in that sense. But I would recommend people watching this. It's definitely not for everyone. There's heavy violence triggers, so if you're not comfortable watching that, then this is not the film for you. But if you are interested in understanding more of the feeling of what was happening in Iran during the protests, then this is a film that you should check out.